Welcome to the Zohar class. This class is about the portion Pinchas, which, according to the Kabbalists, is the most important portion of the Torah as far as healing and health. And Kabbalists believe this is the last portion of the Torah. This is the conclusion of the Torah. And this is where all the wisdom and the blessing of the Torah comes to, because the other two parasha is all about Israel traveling, and the next book is all repetition. So in reality, Pinchas is the fruit, is the conclusion, is the last word of the Torah. We spoke about Pinchas many times, and this year I'm going to talk about a new wisdom, new understanding of Pinchas. And Pinchas come in a most harsh time of the year. Friday, tomorrow, we're going to start 17 of Tammuz, and for the 2-3 weeks we have harsh months, that Tammuz and Av. We have 17 of Tammuz, and it's going to end in Tisha B'Av. And Pinchas come is the harshest time of the year, and we know the more darkness there is, the light is bigger. The lighter, the darker the room is, the smallest light creates a big light. And we always say the light come out of darkness. So there is a potential of a harsh time. At the same time, there is a potential of a healing time. So traditionally, everybody's worried and everybody's afraid of 17 of Tammuz to Tisha B'Av, but the Kabbalists, they welcome it. They say, Baruch Hashem, this is a time for me to receive healing. This is the birth of the Mashiach. So we look at the positive aspect, we look at the cup full, and this is actually the best time to receive healing. The most famous word in this parasha is shalom. Shalom, peace. And the shalom has a vav in it that it's cut in the middle. When you look at the Torah, all the letters are perfect. Only this section, only this word, only this letter has a crack in it. So if the vav is complete, then we cannot use the Torah. Such a paradox. So any other letter in the Torah has a crack, we cannot use it. But in this case, if the vav is not cracked, we cannot use the Torah. So the vav must be cracked. So it want to give us, make us focus on this word, shalom, peace. It want to tell us how important peace is, how important shalom is. One of the name of the Creator is shalom, is peace. So if I'm not in peace, that means I'm disconnected from my Creator. The peace is the source of healing. Unpeace, this disease in English, disease means means that I'm not in an easy mode. I'm in a dis-ease, so the opposite of shalom. So shalom bring us healing, chas v'shalom. If you don't have a shalom, if you are not in peace, it brings us disease. We all experience it in our life, right? I give this example so many times. The moment I have anxiety, I have stress, I have a backache. The stress goes away, the anxiety goes away, the backache goes away also. So there is a direct connection in between being in peace and health. The Kabbalists use a very, very powerful sentence. It says, each time we have the desire to receive for self alone. If someone that has a desire to receive for self alone, he's not in peace. A thief is in peace? No. Somebody that's looking for respect and position and money for his selfish reason, he's not in peace. So the Kabbalah says when we have desire for self alone only, take us out of the peace. And each time, someone practice the desire to receive for self alone, he brings the energy of death, chas v'shalom, to himself. So desire to receive for self alone take us out of peace and attract the energy of death, and it's combined and it's compounded, and after many, many years, chas v'shalom, it brings the actual death. But in the other hand, if you have a desire to share, who has a desire to share? Somebody is in peace, somebody is happy. A happy person, he has a desire to share. A desire to share brings the consciousness of peace, and they call peace power of light, power of beracha and blessing. There's always a question when you make a donation, who benefits? Did someone receive the donation or somebody that gives the donation? Obviously, someone gives a donation, he is a beneficiary because he's acting of sharing. It's going to bring peace to him. It's going to bring shalom to him. That's why they say when you make a donation, don't look after your donation because you're not doing it in peace. If you're looking after, oh, I did a favor to you, I'm so good, I did a volunteer, you owe me now. That's not a sharing. A true sharing, a true peace, you've done something and you forget about it. So we are learning that peace brings us health, success, happiness, and no peace, no success, no happiness, and no health. Now we're going to try to learn, what caused us to come out of peace. The story of Pinchas starts from the end of Balak, last parasha. We were traveling through the desert. We go through many nations, and all these nations just try to destroy us and kill us with a bad eye, with cursing, with fighting. They couldn't. We were more powerful. Finally, Balak came up with this idea. He had this girl, he has a daughter. She was all into black magic and very good looking, and she had very many other ladies. So Balak sent his daughter and many other women to confuse Bnei Israel, to create this urge of sexuality in them. And they were successful. They deceive, they manipulate, and it's so sad, even in our lifetime we're experiencing it, right? Look at the social media, look at TV. It's all about sexual desires, So when this woman came to Bnei Israel, the head of the tribe of Shimon, his name was Zimri. Right away, he started a sexual act with Cosbi, which was a daughter of Balak. And since he was the head of the tribe, all the tribe follow him also. The whole 24,000 of the tribe, they follow Zimri with this sexual act. And because, the Bnei Israel, we are holy. We are supposed to keep our eyes and mouth and hands and body holy. And the moment we are not holy, the disease starts, the plague starts. And the parasha ends that 24,000 people died because of this sexual relationship they had, the plague that came and consumed 24,000 of them. So that's the story of the Torah. Let's see how is it related to our life. This Cosbi, the head of the Shimon tribe, was he a stupid man? Was he dumb? Was he he was a prince? He was one of Moshe's, vice presidents. How could he? Was it a mistake? Was it fall for his selfish desire? What happened to this guy? So this year I learned an amazing lesson. Zimri, if you go back, the 12 children of Jacob had a sister named Dinah. Dinah went to Shechem, if you remember, and she got pregnant from Hamor ben Shechem. He was the king of Shechem, maybe she was not a Jew. So Shimon came to that city, killed Hamor ben Shechem, and he wanted to take Dinah back to their family. Dinah says, I'm pregnant, how am I going to go? It's so shameful. I'm pregnant from this Hamor. How am I going to go back to my family? So Shimon says, we're going to tell everybody that you got pregnant from me. This way you won't be shameful. So that child that was born from that relationship is Zimri, is the guy, is the head of the Shimon tribe, is the guy that went and did the sexual act with Cosby. So what is the correction here? Since Shimon killed Shechem, so that Shechem come back to him as a reincarnation, came back to him as his son. And down the road, this Zimri, he's going to become Rabbi Akiva. We know Rabbi Akiva was not Jewish and he converted to Judaism. And he's a huge, huge soul, even a bigger soul than Moshe Rabbeinu. So if Zimri has such a quality that, he was Rabbi Shimon's and, he has such a soul, how he made such a mistake? Let's find out who's the Zimri. Zimri is the great-grandmother of David HaMelech, because she was from Moab, and David HaMelech, and Ruth was from Moab, and David HaMelech was the son of Ruth. So the so not mistake that Zimri did, it was not a mistake. He saw by this relationship, he could bring the Mashiach. He's Rabbi Akiva, she's the mother of the Mashiach to be. So he says, you know what, let's not waiting to go into Israel, let's bring Mashiach now. That's what the Chabad says. So in his own mind and consciousness, he says, I want to bring the Mashiach now. I don't want to wait anymore longer. This is the same mistake the two sons of Aaron did, Nadav and Avihu, that they want to bring the Mashiach down. It's not the right time. Even if you have the power, even if you know it's the right thing, but it was not the right time. So the conclusion I want to get to, we break our peace sometimes because we want to do something we think is right, but the timing is not right. It's not the time. Sometimes we see the Mashiach for our children and we keep pushing them. Do this, do this, do this. And they're resisting. So maybe I see it as a Mashiach for my children, but this is not the right time for them. They have to achieve that consciousness of Mashiach. Everybody have to do his own tikkun. If we pushing someone to do their tikkun, we are breaking the balance. We are putting an end to the shalom. Sometimes we are pushing our brothers, sometimes we are pushing our children, we are pushing our relatives, neighbors, workers, classmates, members in the Kenisa. So, and that breaks the peace. How many times you want to do something good, you end up fighting with the person, right? You have the right intention. You, with the good heart, with the good consciousness, you want to do a favor to someone, but you end up fighting that person. So Zimri and Cosby, they knew that the Moshiach going to come out of them, and they want to rush into it, but they got burned because this is not the right time. It's not your place to bring the Moshiach for other people. Nadav and Avihu, they said, okay, let me bring a Mashiach now for Am Yisrael. It was not their job. If you know, Nadav and Avihu become Pinchas, so the connection and the tikkun is still, we can see the connection and the tikkun. If you are very smart, if you are very lucky, we're going to do our own tikkun. So we have to concentrate on our own tikkun. To pushing someone to do his tikkun is break the peace, break the shalom. Or to try to bring peace to somebody else, that's break the shalom, break the peace. So the whole lesson of tonight is how can I be in peace? And we are learning that one aspect is not to try to push anything down the throat for somebody else. Like in the Middle East, the teachers, they curse you and they beat you, right? In order to teach you something. It didn't work. We hated our teachers, right? That they beat us in Iran. But now, like in a civilized country, in a modern countries, the teacher come, I help you, I take care of you, I call you after school. It's okay. Let's try one more time. And you love your teacher. So it's a very, very powerful tool. We do it subconsciously. We're trying to push people to do things. We're trying to push people to do what we want them to do. We try to push people to do things in our timeline. And that's break the peace. Everybody has their own tikkun. Everybody have to concentrate on their own tikkun. So the question is, what should I do with my children? What should I do with my spouse? What should I do with my friends? The only thing we can do to keep the peace is to be a good example. The only thing we can do for people that we care about is to be a good example. Talk positive, talk kedusha, act kedusha. There is a famous sentence. It says, if you smoke in front of your children, how do you expect them not to smoke, right? So are you going to smoke and you're going to tell your children don't smoke? How is it even possible? So you want to help your children, you want to help your people around you. It's your responsibility to talk Kedusha, to see Kedusha, to hear Kedusha, to think Kedusha, and to act Kedusha. And positive. Kedusha means the highest level of positivity. So if you look at your life, you see, we had some confrontations, we had some arguments because we tried to push others, to do what we want them to do in our timeline, in our schedule. Why you're late and why you're early and why you don't brush your teeth and why you don't study, So it's all breaking the peace, and it's compound and compound and compound and compound. And, after a few weeks or months and years, there is this huge separation because the peace is gone, the shalom is gone. As much as we love and we care, what Zimri did, not was because his personal desires, because he loved Am Israel, he loved Bnei Israel. He want to bring the Mashiach now, but it was not his job, it was not the right time, and it was not his responsibility. And one way to confirm this is that Moshe didn't kill them. Pinchas killed them, right? Pinchas killed Zimri and Cosby. If Moshe killed somebody, kill him for good. They would never come back as a reincarnation. Moshe would destroy the soul. But Moshe knew who these people are, so he says, Pinchas, just kill the physical aspect of them because eventually they're going to come back as Rabbi Akiva and Mashiach. So that's why Moshe didn't get involved. So it's an art, having a good life, having a peaceful life is an art to do my tikkun, to do my correction, and not push it at anybody else. Another aspect of how good peace is, we're going to go to the Zohar number 20, page 162, section 198. So Zohar book number 20, Pinchas, page 162, section 198. It says water has the energy of flowing. Water is life-giving. Without water, there is no life. and our body is like, I forgot the exact number, is it 90%, 80%, 70% water, right? He says water is the source of life. Water is bring healing. Water bring rejuvenation. Water is so good. We go to mikveh and we feel so good. There is no life without water. But he says at the same time, water can bring flood, and water, chas v'shalom, can bring drowning. People can drown in water. So water has this quality that brings life, and chas v'shalom, it can take life. Hashem destroyed the world during Noah with water. So water has this duality. It can bring peace and health and happiness, but it can bring destruction. So what control, and our body is 70-80% water. What make the water within our body healthy and rejuvenating and happy and could cause a flow of energy is shalom and peace. Chas v'shalom, what caused the water within our body to bring flood and drowning is war, argument, and unpeace. So if there is a confrontation, if there is an argument, if somebody hurt us, if somebody stole from us, if I stay in peace, I'm doing myself a favor because I'm staying healthy. But chas v'shalom, if I lose my peace, not only I lost my respect or my money or whatever, chas v'shalom, we are damaging ourselves too. So look how powerful Zohar is. It was written 2,000 years ago, but the Zohar knew about the power of water within our body. All the fluids, all the blood, everything, the oxygen, all the hormones, everything run through our body, through the water within our body, right? If the water doesn't function good, then the whole body is not going to function good. So the Zohar is telling us an amazing fact that keeping peace, how beneficial it is to our body. And for whatever good or bad reason, if we lose our peace, it's harmful, it's damaging. So we're gonna read this section of the Zohar. Another aspect of water, water in a physical aspect is water that we use. In a spiritual aspect, water means chokhmah, means wisdom. So there is a trick in getting smart. There is a trick into learning and achieving wisdom. If we don't use it in the right way, we hurt others and we hurt ourselves. If I become this big smart guy and I know it all and I'm going to start preaching people and pushing around people, that's not the right way to use the wisdom. So the wisdom, first of all, is for us to do our correction and to be a good example. And if somebody asks you a question, if somebody is desiring the wisdom, then you share it with them. But going around and showing off your wisdom or trying to teach someone something that they don't want, that again take us out of the peace and shalom. So we're going to read the Zohar. We're going to read from the English aspect on the top, and then we're going to go to the Aramaic because it's very powerful. So we're on page 162, section 198. Much supernal wisdom is distilled here, the force of judgment that resides in water, which gives water the potential to destroy through flood and drowning, are extracted from this sacred liquid. Water, the lifeblood of earth and humanity, is now restored to its original state of healing and rejuvenation. He's talking about listening to Parashat Pinchas on Shabbat Pinchas. That's why they say everybody have to be in Kenisa for Pinchas, because the power of Pinchas bring healing to the water with our body. The spiritual influence of water rise to cleanse, purify, and renew us. The name of Matat arose immediately and reveals of the aging process. The Matat embodies eternal youth. Thus, the waters in our cells are purified, causing our cells to regenerate and flourish. One of the jobs that Matat has, by the way, we don't say the full name, we just say the small name, because when we call angels, they have to come to us. And you don't want them to come to you for no good reason. Because let's say you're going to ask the IRS man to come and check your business. Do you want that? You don't want that. So we don't say the full name because they don't want them to check on us. We just use the short name, Matat. One of the jobs Matat has is to bring us shalom and take care of the water in our body. So when we have shalom, Matat is our body, our partner. When Chas v'Shalom, we don't have shalom, Matat is not with us. So let's read the section 198 in Aramaic. Bezrat Hashem, with this kavanah, we're going to learn to be peaceful, to be peaceful, no matter what the circumstances is, no matter what the news is, no matter what happened in the outside world, we want to stay in peace. And we are the only beneficiary of this peace. I know in this society, maybe they laugh at you, maybe they put you down because you are always in peace and smiling and happy, but it's only for your own benefit. So Bezrat Hashem, in this section, we bring shalom, peace, and health to our body and everybody else. Ve'ayat merkava letata mizayrampin, deyahu matat, adam hakatan, debemerkava delia, deyahu pardes, redifei maya deoraita, denefik migo pardes deelia, letalat mi'arba, דאיתמר עליהו ארבעה נכנסו לפרדס והא איתמר. Okay, now we're going to move on to the second part of the class, and we're going to talk about trauma. And the third part, we're going to talk about body parts. Of course, it's going to be related to shalom and peace too. So there is something called emotional toxic poison in our body. When we get too emotional, we lose our peace. There is a toxic poison, chas v'shalom, go to our body. All the hate and anger and anxiety and jealousy and judging and proud and controlling, they call it an emotional toxic poison that chas v'shalom we bring to our body. You remember we learned that emotion is E in motion, energy in motion. So this energy keep moving in our body and is looking for a target and is looking for a body part, and it's going to reside there for long. Next time we want to get angry, next time we want to have anxiety, next time we want to be jealous, next time we want to be hateful, we have to remember we are the only beneficiary. So we don't want this toxic poison in our body. I'm not saying to be a couch potato, we have to stand on our right, we have to say our say, but not with negative, strong emotions. I know some psychologists, some masters of psychology, anything they want to say is with smile, anything, any message, even if it's harsh, they find a way to say it in a nice way, in a peaceful way. I'm going to repeat this sentence again. Your body believes in what you say. Our body believes in what we are saying. So whatever comes out of this mouth, our body parts listen to it. unfortunately, I still hearing this, you are killing me, or I'm gonna kill you, these words are not good to use, any kind of a negative word. Remember, there is only two good emotions, love and happiness, ahava and simcha. Any other emotion is damaging. If we learn to use these two emotions, love and happiness, we're never going to have a doctor visit. We're never going to have to take any medicine in our life. So even it's a harsh argument, if it's a tough situation, love and peace, love and happiness can dissolve the situation. How else we can bring peace to our body? This is an amazing fact. There is a concept called Mesirat Man, and there is another concept Kabbalah called Mind Duchrim. I'm going to explain. In order for rain to rain, rain, we just said that water is no life without water, and where the source of the water is? The rain. How do we get rain? Is a water that evaporating and goes to the sky, and then the same water comes down. The spiritual world works in the same way. I have to do good. I have to be good. I'm the one that's evaporating the water. I have to do good, see good, hear good, talk good, think good, act good, and send all this goodness to the Shamayim in order for the Shamayim to return it to me. There is no other way to receive. There is no other way to receive. There must be, I have to do good and I send it up in order to receive. So when you're having a steak, this steak that came from a wonderful cow, that we are helping this soul to do its tikkun. We are not eating in order to satisfy our body only. We are helping the cow to do its tikkun, correction. We are not killing the animal. We are not hurting the animal. We are doing shechita. Shechita means, helping that soul to get elevated. So when we are having a steak and we say the blessing for it, so we are helping that soul to go to the upper world. When that soul go to the upper world, its blessing is gonna rain back down to us. Allah, guess what? In order to have a 1 pound of steak, the cow have to eat 50 pounds of grass. So when we are eating the steak, we are also helping 50 pounds of grass doing its tikkun. Guess what? 50 pounds of grass comes from 1 acre of land. 1 acre of land. So we are helping the land to do its tikkun. So when we are having a steak, we are elevating the soul of the cow, we are elevating the soul of the grass, we are elevating the soul of the ground. So if you eat it with no appreciation, if you eat it with no blessing, if you eat it just to satisfy your urge of hunger, you are not sending anything up. So if the water doesn't evaporate, where the rain is going to come from? But can you imagine next time you're having a steak and you say the blessing for it? Or even you can't say the blessing, you just remember in the Zohar class I learned, by having this steak, I'm elevating the soul of the cow, elevating the soul of 50 pounds of grass, elevating 1 acre of land. Then imagine how much we are sending up there and how much is going to come back to us. So one way to have peace is the constant consciousness of appreciation. The psychologists or the common people say appreciation, but the Jewish or the Kabbalists call it beracha, see the blessing of it. Appreciation is nice, but we know that everything has a soul. Yeah, of course we appreciate the soul, but we want to help the soul. By saying the blessing, you're helping it to descend, to go to higher and higher. So the same thing about the apple. When you say blessing of the apple, you're blessing the apple, you're blessing the tree, you're blessing the ground on it. You know, so the more we send up, the more we receive back. And the more peace we have. And guess what? We are not doing this only for ourselves. When you elevate the soul of a 1 acre land, it's bring peace to the whole, world also. I'm not the only one that eating the cow. Whoever's going to eating from the cow is going to get blessed because I said a blessing on the cow. So why there is more wars? Why there is so much hate? Why there is so much division, among people? Because there is no peace. But the more people say the blessing, the more people appreciate it, the more peace we bring into the whole world. We're doing the tikkun olam. When I say the blessing on the steak, it's not only for me, the whole world is going to benefit from it. When it's rain, it's not only raining for us, it's raining for everybody. So look how powerful it is to say the blessing and appreciate not only food, your house, your car, your clothing, your friends, your phone, your cup, your Zohar book, your Zohar class. When you appreciate and it's a blessing on everything you have more peace within you and you're bringing more peace to the whole world. Sometimes we're talking about some other scenarios, that might not be peaceful, might not be in peace. They said as far as the trauma, if there is a miscarriage, so the child that was born after the miscarriage always has a fear of death. And that child always going to say, why I survived? How come the other one didn't survive? So there's a lot of family situations that take us out of the peace. So we have to learn that there is a reason, there is a master plan, there is a creator. It was not an accident. It was well planned, and we are just part of the plan. We accept the plan and we appreciate the plan. Instead of going into the fear and why I survived and this person didn't survive, we have to remember one leaf doesn't leave the tree without Hashem permission. So if there's a miscarriage, if there is an accident, we don't want to fall into fear and anger and anxiety and why me and why him. No matter what the circumstances is, keep the peace. Sometimes we inherit some attitude or some character from our grandparents. Oh, your grandpa was like this, you're like that too. Or, oh, my mom was like this, I'm acting like that too. The Kabbalist says, stand in front of your grandpa. I mean, even though they're not with us anymore, not even if they're with us, not to go stand in front of them, but in your mind, in consciousness, you have to stand in front of your grandpa. Thank you very much. I love you. I appreciate you, but I don't want these qualities. That was your life. That was your tikkun. That's your correction. I know it passed through Jesus, through me, but I don't want this character. If you recognize that something came down to us, we want to stand in front of them and say, I don't want it. Not in person, of course, in our own mind and consciousness. This is how far we're going to take it to trauma. Now we're going to talk about the body parts and healing and how we can bring healing to these body parts. So first we talk about fingers. We're going to talk Kabbalistically first, and then we're going to talk about the emotional aspect of it. Right here. So As far as fingers, I don't know the words and the names in English, but the pinky have to do with hearing. That's Kabbalistically, have to do with hearing. So if we have a pain or discomfort in our pinky, it has to do with our hearing. You know, we are listening, we are hearing not the right things. You know, you remember Shema Israel, listen Israel, you know. So the pinky have to do with hearing. The ring finger have to do with our sight. If the ring finger hurt or this discomfort have to do with sight, that we don't see Kedusha, we don't see the soul behind the physical aspect. The middle finger have to do with our speech, and with our the way we talk. If we talk not Kedusha, if we talk in a negative way or bad words, that's why there is an issue with the middle finger. The point finger have to do with anger. If we are angry, and anger is such a huge subject, not necessarily angry people are angry. You know, shy people, they're angry. That's why it's manifests itself in a way of being shy. So anger has many faces. And the tongue have to do with taste. When a baby born, they're sucking on the tongue, right? So the tongue have to do with taste, with whatever that goes to our mouth. Or whatever we are taking in. Maybe we're taking in the wrong information. Maybe we are taking in the wrong wisdom. Maybe we are taking in the wrong consciousness. So whatever we take in and whatever we taste have to do with the let's now learn about the fingers through the emotional. So let's start with the tongue. It says the relationship with authority. We have a problem we have an issue in relationship with authority. Feeling betrayed, control and or taken advantage of by authority figure. Sometimes, you know, we trigger old unsolved trauma. When we think about old unsolved trauma, our tongue can hurt too. That's why whatever happened in the past, we solve it and we leave it in the past. Keep talking about it, it just brings more pain to us. Point finger. You seem to feel held back by past mistakes and overcompensate by being too careful with new goals. It says when you are held back by past mistake and you don't want to go forward, that's why there's issues with the point finger. Middle finger. You often feel self-disgust, which may be related to past actions. Now you regret. Related to sexuality, losing a child, conflict with a child. Sexual abuse, sexual disgust. That's the middle finger. The ring finger. This could be related to separation trauma, either with a partner or a parent. Have moved away. It says a person moved away from you and left you with no identity. That makes sense. Pinky. You felt ashamed of your family and the conflict that is now becoming visible to the outside world. Secrets that you had to keep from a young age. So this is how far we're going to talk about fingers. Khanum Muradzadeh, she asked me to talk about ribs. Ribs is fascinating, it's very short and right to the point. So as far as ribs, it says issue with ribs may be related to feeling that your family foundation is falling apart or is not as strong as it used to be. You remember when Adam wanted to have a family, Hashem took a rib out of him and he made a wife, and that's how he had a family. So if there is a rib issue, it says that there is something's falling apart in a family foundation. Eyes. We spoke about eyes in one of the classes in very details, but since Manos Hanum asked about eyes, we have to talk about it again. So the book says that eyes has a muscle. Eyes is a muscle. And when we are too rigid, when we are too stubborn, sometimes we have anxiety, we have stress, and we cannot move our hands and legs because the muscle become frozen. So same thing with the eyes. If you're too rigid, if you're too stubborn, if you have anxiety, if you have stress, so the muscles in our eyes also become hard, and that cause, sight issue. So number one eye problem is related to being rigid, not to be flexible. We have a flexible is healthy, flexible is happy, flexible has shalom. A rigid person, is the opposite of shalom. The other one is, again, stress, anxiety, and abuse. It says, when you have to survive challenging times, make you, the feeling like it's a challenging time and I have to survive it, make us rigid, make our muscles is hard. The Kabbalah says it's a challenging time, Baruch Hashem. Not only are we going to survive it, I'm going to be successful in this challenging time, right? So the challenge shouldn't, make us hard, and could cause the eye issue. It says you often lose sight of what you want in life and how you are going to attract it. So there is a famous sentence. It says, if you know what your goal is, any road going to take you there. But if you don't know what your goal is, no road going to take you there. So our goal is to be, we have a Jewish family. We belong to a Jewish nation. I follow the Torah, and whatever Hashem designed for me is good for me. So it's not what I want, is how can I complete my task. It says you tolerance being abused and punished by others. And this is, last time we talked about it, is such a powerful sentence. It says stressful and abusive circumstances have become a way of life. I see it in so many people. It says, oh, it's Monday, I have to be nervous. Oh, it's my family is bothering me, I have to get angry on them. It's like become a way of life. No. Stressful and abuse circumstances shouldn't be a way of life. You feel comfortable with being uncomfortable. You remember? You feel comfortable with being uncomfortable. I said that example last time. My grandma, she had this broken chair. The handle was broken. The leg was broken. The leather was broken. Oh, I love this chair. Grandma, this chair is all broken. No. I know it's uncomfortable, but I'm happy with it. I'm comfortable with uncomfortable. Come on, a bad chair gonna give you a backache. A bad chair gonna hurt your legs. Don't be comfortable with uncomfortable. Whatever is uncomfortable in life, you have to fix it. Okay, let's go to ears, and with that, we're gonna finish the class. Ears have to do everything with motherhood, with motherhood. With our mother and we as a mother. It says your relationship with your mother has left you feeling vulnerable, raw, and rejected. And worse than that is that you are afraid that you're going to be a bad mom too. Because your mom was not an angel. You think that you're not going to be a good mom because of your mom. You know, it's like passed through you. And you're afraid to be the same mom as she. That's what caused ear problem. Whatever pain or whatever bad circumstances we had with our mother can cause ear issues. And again, we are worried that we're going to act the same way and with our own children. You may fear that you cannot change the outcome of your relationship with your future children or with your own children. We have this fear that, you know, we are not going to have a good relationship with our children. The next one is your partner might be indecisive about having a baby. Your partner might be indecisive about having a baby. One day they feel they want a child, and then later in time they change their mind. This could be related to the trauma, such as fear of losing a child or fear of more responsibilities. You want to be a mother, it is important for you to process and let go of the stress and tension you experience during your life. It says you want to be a mother, but because of the stress or tension you had during your lifetime, you know, it's you want to run away from motherhood. This is how far we're going to take the class. I have a good practice to do with you guys after the class, so don't go anywhere. Thank you very much. I wish you guys Shabbat Shalom. Bezrat Hashem, Parashat Pinchas bring shalom and peace and health to everyone. Love you guys. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom.